This is the way we understand the procedure that the listeners respond with the response. The listeners who hear the description by the verb and the modal verb compares the present condition with the experience, condition, or action described by the phrase of the verb and the modal verb. The listeners clarifies the accordance or the listeners find the two are different. The listeners who find the accordance between two respond with the response yes. This means that the modal verb to emphasize the definition of the verb functions properly. The listeners who do not find the accordance between two respond with the response yes. The modal verb to emphasize the definition of the verb does not function properly. Let's read the explanation. The intention of the listeners to come up with the affirmative response yes originates from the accordance. The accordance is the result of the comparison between the present and the description by the verb and the modal verb. Let's study the second clause. Would you imagine the better world? The speaker conveys the intention to clarify whether the condition of the listeners as the subject occurred with the condition indicated by the transitive verb imagine, whose definition is described by the modal verb would or not. The speaker asks the listeners at the present the listeners asks the listeners whether the listeners consider the actualization of the condition described by the transitive verb imagine in the solemn will of the one who hears our prayer about our expectation. That was not kept at the point number 2. So this question may deliver the intent of the speaker for the listeners about the integrating, about the assumed condition of the listeners to be the present condition in the solemn will of the one who hears our prayer about our expectation and our determination. All the time. According to the response of the listeners, the description that the condition that the listeners expected in the past is the same as the condition indicated by the transitive verb imagine, whose definition is described by the modal verb would, is clarified to be true or not. From now on, we will study about a negative interrogative clause with a modal verb. The speaker applies the modal verb not to emphasize that the clause is stated on the premise that even though the definition of the modal verb to start, the interrogative clause is denied by the adverb not, the intention to convey with the phrase of the verb and the modal verb is so assured by the speaker. The speaker whose assurance on the definition of the verb can reveal the intent that there cannot be other situation other than the way described by the phrase of the modal verb, the adverb not, and the verb. The speaker reveals the assurance that the listeners agree on the description by the modal verb and the verb. So the speaker considers that there is not any possibility to get a response to reveal the disagreement of the listeners. There is a clause, don't you imagine the better world? This interrogative clause is able to be stated by the speaker who set the premise that the listeners surely imagine the better world. Thank you for watching.